Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to talk to you about love at first sight dresses. So you know this feeling, you look at something, in this case dresses, and it's like your breath stops, but not really. It's like you go, and then you forget breathing out, and then it just stays in there until you realize that you need to breathe out. And then you get this, it's like a ball of feeling right in your general stomach area, and it starts like kind of glowing and being a little itchy, but also kind of great. And you look at it and it's like awesome, and you keep looking and you keep looking, and then it's like something sort of exploding in your brain and then melting all over. And then it gets all tingly. I have a hard time describing this. So this is basically love at first sight, and I swear, I've never had this with a person in my entire life. I only develop feelings for people after I've known them for a while, but with dresses I've had it, definitely. Like I was on a complete emotional high for like a day or two after I first saw some of these dresses. It's like there's electricity all over, and it's like, oh my god, this is awesome, and you get really restless because you can't stop thinking about that one dress, and it's really, the first time you see it, it's bam, hits you. And I only get this with clothes, of course. Which is actually quite good, because I mean, you know instantly when you see a dress that you like it, but you can't tell when you see a person for the first time whether you actually like them. So I guess it makes sense, kinda. So I was going to show you some of my love at first sight dresses, and I went through a really long list because sometimes you think you're kind of falling in love with the dress and then you fall out of love with the dress. I narrowed it down to those that have really endured, where the emotional impact was really strong at first, and I still love these dresses and I kind of want to own them or see them or meet them in person. Oh my god, I would be so... Oh, I would be in heaven. You know how when you see a famous dress for the first time, it's like you're meeting a star or some kind of celebrity that you really adore. I don't have that with celebrities either. Like I get kind of shy around people whose content I watch, but if there's somebody like well known around whose work I respect, but I only draw back. I don't fangirl. I'm like, okay, let's leave them in peace. This is cool, but this is also awkward, so let's just leave them alone. So I've been doing that occasionally. And with dresses, I'm just going absolute fangirl. Like I do squealy things and stuff. Like there's a puppy in the room, squeal, really high pitched. So, and I'm going to show you some of mine now from this bookshelf. Okay, the first dress that I'm going to show you is also the first dress that I ever actually ridiculously fell in love with. It's from the fashion book, and you can tell this book has been very well loved by me. It's the first fashion book I bought. I don't remember how old I was, but I would say it was around the end of middle school or the start of high school. So it might have been anything between 15 and 18, I seriously don't know. And I bought this mostly because I was really into the costumes of the Phantom of the Opera at the time, like the bad movie, but the costumes are nice. They make no sense, but they're really pretty. And I was starting to get into historical fashion, or what I back then thought was historical fashion. Actually, it was more like movie costumes, but I was so intrigued by this whole corset and lacy thing and what goes where and stuff, and I had no idea, but I knew that I wanted to know more. So I was walking around in the shopping center, and there was this one bookstore, and they had the double thing in, I think this is the medium size. There's a bigger one and there's a smaller one, which I also have for some reason, and it was like 20 bucks, and it was the last money that I had, but I was like, wow, this is an investment. I need this. And I just flipped through the pages and I was like, wow, I want this. So I bought it, and this is really heavy. And because I'd spent all the rest of my money, I had to walk home, which is like, I think it was something between 2 to 3 kilometers, and I was carrying this around in my purse, and it got really heavy, but I walked all the way back home because I couldn't afford to go back on the bus. And then back home I went through this, and this was basically my Bible. And I still really enjoy it, but these days I think you need to have a little bit, you need some information beforehand before you read this, because if this is the first thing you read, you won't know shit, as happened to me. So, and the first dress in this, it's way in the back in the first part. Of course I only like the old ones, the newer ones I just don't even look at. It's still in very good condition, but this one's completely messed up. Was this one, and I looked at it and I had no idea what I was looking at, but it was like, oh my god, it's so gorgeous. I need it, I want it, look at this, this is the perfect dress for me. It was so frilly and sparkly, and look at how soft this looks. Oh my god, I still can't literally even, it's so amazing. And it sparkles, and it's like, diaphanous is the word, I think, if I pronounce that correctly. And it's so, there's like color changes, and the silhouette is so elegant, and it's all pretty. And it's like this really soft shade of green that I love, and it looks like, I think this is an example in this book for, it's a Worth gown, of course, Worth gown. And they use it as an example for his son using kind of Eastern influences with the embroidery and stuff. But oh my god, I love this thing. That's the first time I heard the name of Worth, and it was like, who's this? I need to know more about this person because he made this amazing dress. It's awesome. So yeah, this is pretty much the first time I ever fell in love with any dress ever, and I was obsessed. I like took this book everywhere I could in the house, and I just kept staring at it. And back then the internet wasn't what it was today, so I couldn't find out anything more about this dress, which was very sad. I'm still maintaining, if I ever get the chance, if I ever find materials, I'm going to sew this, and it's going to take like 10 years. Okay, second dress. It's not the second dress I fell in love with, but I had like numerous very, very small crushes in the meantime, and then this dress happened. And it took me years to get a proper picture of it. I only knew this dress from the internet, which is probably Pinterest or something, or a blog, or maybe Kathy Hayes' blog. She did it. She did the dress. I had no idea about the dress at this time. So, and I was so happy when I bought this book because I was really interested, and ta-da! There's my all-time love dress, which is the Oakleaf dress. And again, it has been done by Worth, and look at it. So amazing. The only thing that's a bit annoying is that there's all these little black things all over the image, and this is the only publication I know which has an image of this dress in it, and it's so lovely. The line is just perfect, let's be real here, but I'm afraid even if I did this dress for myself, this kind of yellow really looks terrible on me, so I wouldn't be able to wear it, so that's sad. And Kathy Hay examined it, and I think she put a whole lot of pictures from the original dress from, I think it's in Bath in the Fashion Museum. So she got to look at it, and I saw lots of pictures from the inside, and I was really surprised by how terrible this looks from the inside, like complete mess. But it looks so pretty from the outside. I think that's actually, these are embroidered on, and here we have some where the leaf is cut out and then there's some kind of see-through fabric, and then this is just put in from the back, and they're transparent, and you can see the lower skirt, and oh, it's so pretty, and I want it, but it's so tiny, I could never do that kind of waistline. It's just not going to work. So I still love this dress. I've actually been thinking about making it, but not with oak leaves, because I don't really have a strong connection to like oaks. I might pick a different plant, to be honest, and a different color scheme, but the rest is going to just stay this way. By the way, really good book. Most books I will show you here are the ones that I really like. Okay, I got a really quick one. This is a dress I fell in love with and then I fell out of love again. I saw it in this book and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And this little, you see the Oriental influences because Orientalism was a big thing, and then you see the influence from ancient Greece, or what they thought was influenced from ancient Greece. And I really loved this dress, and then I tried to figure out how the heck I would sew it, and then I was like, wow, this is impossible to make. This just makes no sense. Especially like these layered things. This is supposed to be layered. I figured that out, but then the whole skirt won't close in the back and it's so weird. It's still really pretty, but not one of my all-time favorites anymore. Mainly because I won't be able to sew it, so that kind of helped me fall out of love with it again, but it's still pretty. Okay, next one in order of appearance, basically, is in the opulent era, and I have had this book for only, I think, a month now or two, maybe, because it was on sale. But this isn't the first time I've read it. I read it ages ago in the university library, and I still remember that the big books with the pictures and stuff, you couldn't take them home. That was forbidden. You had to go to this really small reading area, and you couldn't leave with the books ever, because I actually asked the employee there, and with the big picture books, apparently people have borrowed them before and then cut all the pictures out and then given the book back. And I mean, they do control the books when they get back, but at sometimes you can't quite find out which one of the people who borrowed it was it who did it, because, well, there's time constraints sometimes, and there's no way to definitively prove it. So they just decided that all the big picture books, they weren't allowed to be taken out of the university area. So there's just this really small room with really bad fluorescent lighting and very uncomfortable chairs, and I read through this whole thing because at this point I was Worth obsessed, and there's a really big Worth part. I think it's the entire first half of the book is just about Worth. And I couldn't take it home and I couldn't scan it, but I could make black and white copies. And that took up so much space in my shelf that I just tossed that out and bought this, because it's way more space saving to just have the book. But this is the first context I ever saw it in, and I was in the middle of the library, and after each chapter there's these really nice color images. The chapters are in black and white, and then there's color images, so I flip through them and I see this. And what I just described to you with your breath stopping, or sometimes you just keep breathing in and you don't even realize until you're full up with air, and then it feels really weird. And I had this with this dress. I was sitting there being like, bam, oh my god, this is just wow. And I absolutely love this dress to this day. It's so awesome. And I still have it in some other books now, but this is how I first encountered the dress, and it is so beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And it's the typical Worth line, kind of. You look at his dresses and they're very clean in their lines, but there's also something incredibly beautiful about them, and I can't even pinpoint it to this day. It's so pretty. I think this is a debutante dress. Yes, it is. And it's made from silk, and then there's like these little bits with silk chiffon, and the flowers here, and the train, and oh god, it's so gorgeous. By the way, never cut out the pictures of a library book. I'm going to come to you and I'm going to kill you. Just putting that out there. Okay, next book. Us Bazaar. I remember I got this 2 or 3 years ago. I think in the summer I ordered it on Amazon. used because I couldn't get it anywhere. And I didn't have time to really look through it because my mom had engaged me to go to a lake and go swimming that day. And I knew, as always with her, if we were going to a lake, we were probably not going to do a whole lot of swimming, more like lying around the lake somewhere and then eating a lot of French fries and drinking coffee and stuff. So I took this because I knew we were just going to lie around most of the time. And I think I got through like half of it. And I still remember that she was like reprimanding me about my weight or something. And I didn't really want to listen because I had so many nice things to flip through and read it. And I still remember, and that's the nice thing about this falling in love with a dress thing, or with anything really, because it's like the moment is imprinted in your brain, in your internal hard drive. And I still remember where we were lying exactly, and that my back was kind of aching because she brought these little launcher chair thingies, and I think there were pines or something, the pine trees around, and it all smelled kind of like this needle tree smell all around. And it was very, very hot and humid that day, and I still remember all of that. And then I'm flipping through the pages and I see this, and again my heart stops for a beat or something. And oh my god, it's the most beautiful dress ever. And I only later realized that I had already seen this dress in a reproduction, but I didn't like it then. I like it here though. I don't remember who did it. I remember I didn't like the color and I didn't like the way it was made. And from the first, I thought this should probably be in like dark wine red or something. And I was thinking when I was seeing this that this area here and the fabric should probably be like cream color or champagne color or something like that, like pearly, nice cream color. And I remember reading the descriptions and not reading the descriptions at the same time, like I was looking over it, but my eyes kept wandering back to the beautiful dress. And took me 5 attempts to actually read through what color this was supposed to be. And then I read, well, I was spot on with the red, but the rest was supposed to be like silver, pearl gray something, and that just doesn't sit right. But it really underlines the exotism we've got going on here. You can see in the sleeves there's some Chinese thing going on. And I don't really like that. I thought when I looked at this that this was supposed to be like an opera curtain, and that idea was really awesome. So I think it should be like cream colored with the dark red, and then it's like a curtain theme for like a really fancy opera house. And this would be my dream, doing this dress. It's so lovely, oh my god. And this is only the second dress I've showed you that isn't by Worth. So you can see where my love is the strongest with the Worth boys. Okay, the next one is a little bit more complicated. It is Love at First Sight and then not, and then at Second Sight. So I bought this. This is from some kind of exhibition in New York, I think. I didn't buy it, my grandma bought it for me for Christmas, I think. And this was something with a gilded age, and turned out to be this really tiny thing. But I'm happy that I got it because this is definitely limited edition. And the dress I really loved the most is this one, because it's so very businessy. And again, Worth, of course. And I really liked it, but you can't really make out a lot of the dress. You can't see it. She's sitting. I mean, it's nice to see the sitting position, but there's nothing else. This is all there is in this thing. So I really liked it, but I didn't have enough to go on. So I remembered it as a dress of which I really loved the line, but that's where it stopped because I couldn't find anything else at the time. And then I got, oh, this is really going to be exhausting for my arms. This one a while ago, and it had, and that was the moment when I completely fell for it. Ooh, this this is too big. Very, very detailed photos of this dress, and I looked it up on the museum's website, and you can actually see it in the online catalog, and you can zoom in way, way more than you can in this. But these are really good quality pictures, and look at this thing in the back. Oh my god, it's so adorable! And the closure and everything, and if I could have found a striped material to make this dress out of, I would have so sewn this already. It's just, I don't know why, but it just screams me. It's like kind of uptight and a little businessy, but also a little fancy, and it's a little bit of everything, so I really love it. Okay, oh my god, this is so heavy, like I need to weigh this. I think this is like 2 pounds at least. 1 Kilo. Okay, the last one. It's not from a book, it's from my wall. It's this one. The first fashion print that I ever bought in Paris. So it was a souvenir from a really nice field trip I did with my university, and it was in winter. So around the Seine there weren't as many of these cart selling people. Need to clean this. Oi. This got a little dusty in my moving adventures. And there was this one guy all the way back, like really approaching the Eiffel Tower almost, and he was selling these fashion prints, and I looked through them. I didn't even know at the time that they had those. It was the first time I ever noticed, really. And I saw this one, and oh my god, it's so pretty. I really like the Edwardian. Why do I never sew Edwardian? Seriously, I need to get started on that. Somebody needs to start making S-bend corsets. You know who you are. And I'm looking at this, and it's just so, wow, I need to have this. The lion, it's so beautiful. And I think it was like 12 bucks, and this was my precious. I didn't let go of this thing until I was back home in Germany. I held on to it even in the train. I didn't even dare put it in my purse or in my luggage because I was afraid that something would happen to it. So I just kept it in a little plastic bag in my hand the entire train ride, no matter what I did. So that's a really nice souvenir, and it's cool that I have this on my walls. And there's something on the back too, but this one was the prettiest and I loved it from the first. So this is gracing my wall. Okay, so this is the end of this video. Now I've shown you all my all-time favorite Love at First Sight dresses. And now we're coming to the actual purpose of this video, which is to ask you, my audience, has this ever happened to you? How does it feel to you? And most importantly, what kind of dresses were they? And are they famous dresses? Do I know them? Because some dresses do get kind of famous. So I want to know about your experience, if you've had that experience. And yeah, that's it.